Hi everyone, my name is Iwamoto. How are you doing? Today we are going to create a mold for handle, and from my experience, I think we can go for two side parts with this type of shape. So let's go for it. Right, first, as always, we apply soft soap throughout the model. Repeat this rubbing and rinse procedure about 3 times. Now, the mouth of the mold to pour the slip in and out with the handle are generally to be created on these joint sections. So this side will be the top of the mold and will be the last part to be done. Right, we're gonna start with the side part. First, we put the thin layer of buff clay on the board with thick surface. And create roughly the same shape as the model of the handle. And then put the model on it. And to be able to split the model into 2 sections without having the undercut, we need to set the center of the model parallel to the board. I think I need to put some more buff clay underneath this side of the model. And we also need to keep the clay underneath the model for what we are going to do next. So let's get rid of these excess clay. Okay, the clay is not popping out, so I think this should be fine, more or less. And what I'm gonna do next is using this right angle ruler and this marker pen to determine the line to split the model. Okay, let's start with the outer surface of the handle. First, we leave some ink on the edge of the ruler and set it right next to the model so that the edge of the ruler will be touching the surface of the model. And move it along little by little. Right, we move on to inner surface of the handle. Right, we've got these lines done, so let's fill some buff clay up to the lines. And as for the joint side of the handle, which is where we'll be creating the top part of the mold later on, the surfaces of the joint parts are not even. So instead of using a partition board, we simply create a wall with buff clay that can go with the shape of the joint parts of the handle. Now, let's surround this with partition boards. And masking tape, just in case. And plaster. Right, this is what we got now. So we'll work on the other side of the side part. First, we briefly tidy up the edges and make the surface nice and clean. And create some keys. Soft soap. Create a wall with buff clay. Partition boards. Masking tape. And plaster. Right, the side parts have been done, so we're gonna work on the last part, the top. We roughly tidy up the edges with the tool. And then put this elastic band on so that the mold won't come apart yet. And make the surface nice and clean as we always do. And create some keys. And soft soap. Now, the trickiest part. It's tricky because the surface of the joint part is small, and also the surfaces have got certain angle. That means it's not easy to settle the baffle on its right position. Anyway, we've got to do it. This is the diagram of the mold from the side look. As you can see, the mouths to pour the slip in and out need to be created bigger towards the top surface. However, creating this shape with baffle and keep them still on the small surface with a bit of angle is almost impossible. So what I'm gonna do is, I just create straight mouths with baffle for now, and then carve them into the right shape. After pouring the plaster in. We keep 3 to 4 millimeters of bonding plank from the edge. Now we carefully take this elastic band off. And then surround this with partition boards. Masking tape. And pour the plaster in gently. As I had mentioned before, we carve these mouths into the right shape, but be careful. Right, it's all done. Thank you very much for watching everybody, and see you next time.